I promised to do a video on my recent experiences with cryptocurrency businesses, digital assets, and the whole blockchain. Now, what I've seen in the last year or so is that many of the people who come to me and say, I want to set up this type of business, this is the digital asset I'm trading in, or this is the OTC I'm setting up, or the payment gateway I want to set up. What we find is that they have many challenges before them. Many of these are regulatory challenges. They're not sure where to set up and what the legal framework in that country might be. And we've also seen sort of the flavor of the month, whether it's Estonia or Malta. All of these countries can often change their ideologies and they can change their laws, which means that it's not always one size fits all. It's not always the right answer. And it's kind of a moving piece, if you see what I mean. So there's taxation issues to think about. There's also access to funding and access to clients and how deals might be done. Obviously, Dubai has a blockchain strategy, and the UAE has had its strategy in place from about 2018. And we've seen many people attracted to Dubai and to the UAE for its legal regime and for its certainty around financial free zones and financial rules. However, that's not to say that cryptocurrency businesses and all digital assets are moving to Dubai. Many are, and I know there's been a fair amount of move from companies like Coinbase, Circle, Bittrex. I think Deribit is also looking to move its Middle East headquarters to the UAE, etc. in Q3 of this year. So there is a shift, but I still do find that many of the structures are BVI and Cayman based or Seychelles based. And I also find that many of the trading offices still are in epicenters like London. So just to sort of clarify what kind of regime we do end up having in the UAE, obviously we have like the Central Bank of the UAE and the Securities and Commodities Exchange, who, whilst they have talked about their own tokens, do not recognize digital assets. And then we have the Dubai International Financial Center and the Abu Dhabi Global Markets, who do have their own framework and regime. On the mainland in Dubai, you have VARA, or the Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority, that has been formed and that has given a reasonable amount of clarity on how digital assets will be governed. And then you also have the Dubai Multi-Commodities Center that has been quite innovative in its approach and has also got a framework in relation to digital assets. Obviously, when we advise clients on setting up here, it's really key to understand what kind of activities you can be licensed to do and how far you can go in terms of sort of the banking industry. There are regulations around the whole industry that still have a lot of gray area and gray zones, and all of the implementing regulations that we hope to see and expect to see and the clarity we expect to see isn't always there. So what I tend to do is I approach the relevant authority that I am dealing with or I'm helping the client with and actually have a chat about that client, because a lot of the digital assets and the cryptocurrency businesses have nuances and they're quite different. You can't say that one particular type of license or regulation fits all. And some of them have a very long-term UAE and Middle East plan, which means that they need to be ultra careful in devising what type of license and what type of activities they wish to be licensed for. So it's fair to say that whilst there has been quite a big shift in the region and there is an appetite definitely in the UAE to look at digital asset businesses and to sort of treat them in the legal framework, so to speak, and to be able to sort of regulate them, it's still not a given that the UAE would be your choice. You would have to consider many issues, as I mentioned, and you would need to see what your long-term priorities are as a business, because obviously digital assets and digital asset businesses and the platforms on which they're working and surviving is also rapidly evolving and changing.